What if I told you that one of the most influential figures in East African history is a man whose legacy remains a topic of heated debate even today? Welcome to the complex world of Sayyid Mohamned Abdulle Hassan, a name that echoes through the annals of Somalia's history. Born in the mid-19th century, Hassan grew to become a pivotal figure in the shaping of Somalia's national identity. Often referred to as the Mad Mullah by his British adversaries, Hassan was a man of faith, a poet, and a formidable warrior. His life journey, intertwined with the fate of his homeland, is one of resilience, resistance, and a relentless pursuit of sovereignty. From the fertile plains of the Somali Peninsula to the arid expanses of the Ogaden, Hassan's influence was widespread. His passionate resistance against British colonial powers carved a deep and lasting impression on the psyche of his people, a sentiment that reverberates even today in the heart of every Somali. Yet the legacy of Sayyid Mohamned Abdulle Hassan is not without controversy. He is a figure that elicits polarizing emotions, a testament to the complex tapestry of his life and actions. While many view him as a national hero, a beacon of resistance against foreign occupation, others see him as a religious extremist, his methods and motives questioned. This dichotomy in perception isn't surprising. After all, history is often a matter of perspective, and the story of Hassan is no different. His legacy is a prism, refracting the light of his deeds into divergent hues, each color representing a different interpretation of his life and struggles. The life of Sayyid Mohamned Abdulle Hassan is a labyrinth of narratives, each path leading to a different understanding of the man. His story is far from simple, far from resolved. It is a tale that challenges us to look beyond the surface, to question, to seek, and to understand. In order to truly understand the man, we must journey back to the beginning. Born into the Ogaden Darid clan in 1856, Sayyid Mohammed's life was destined to be anything but ordinary. Our story begins in the arid plains of Somalia, where a young Sayyid Mohammed, hailing from the esteemed Ogaden Darid clan, embarked on a journey that would forever change the course of his nation's history. His early years were steeped in religious teachings, an education that would kindle a fierce passion for justice and resistance in his heart. Young Sayyid was sent to religious schools, known as Quranic schools. Here he immersed himself in the teachings of Islam, gaining a deep understanding of the holy texts. This early education was not merely rote learning. It was a profound exploration of morality, justice, and the intricate relationship between faith and politics. These teachings would later form the bedrock of his ideologies, shaping his perspective on colonialism and resistance. As he grew older, Sayyid's thirst for knowledge only intensified. His spiritual quest led him on a pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. This journey was a turning point in his life, a voyage of self-discovery that would forever alter his views on the world. In Mecca, he witnessed the stark contrast between the colonized lands and the free, sovereign states. He saw the fervor of faith, unfettered by colonial chains, and it sparked a flame within him. The inequalities he observed became the catalyst for his anti-colonial sentiments. It was here that he began to envision a Somalia free from the clutches of foreign powers, a nation ruled by its people, under the guidance of their faith. Yet, at this point, he was still a young man, his dreams as vast as the Somali plains, his resolve as strong as the desert winds. Little did he know that these early experiences, these formative years of his life, would shape his destiny and the fate of his beloved homeland. Little did the young Sayyid know, these early experiences would set the stage for a tumultuous struggle. As Sayyid Mohammed grew older, he found himself thrust into a position of leadership. This was not a random occurrence, but a natural progression for a man who had dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge and the betterment of his people. Sayyid Mohammed's journey to leadership began in the realm of religion. He became a respected religious figure, a sheikh, and used his spiritual influence to unite his fellow Somalis. His teachings were rooted in the tenets of Islam, but they also carried a political undertone. He preached about the importance of unity, self-determination, and resistance against the colonial powers that sought to divide and rule Somalia. His words resonated deeply with the people, who looked to him for guidance and inspiration. His sermons were more than just spiritual guidance, they were a call to action. He urged his followers to rise up against the colonial powers, to reclaim their land and their freedom. He spoke with passion, with conviction, with a fiery intensity that ignited the hearts of his listeners. His words were a beacon, a rallying cry that united a people under a common cause. Sayyid Mohamned was not just a religious leader. He was a visionary, a strategist, a charismatic leader who understood the power of words and the importance of unity. He used his position to galvanize his people, to instill in them a sense of pride and a determination to fight for their rights. His teachings were not just about resistance, but also about resilience. He taught his followers to be strong, to be steadfast, to never give up in the face of adversity. He showed them that they were not alone, that they were part of a larger community, a nation, a people united by a common cause. Sayyid Mohammed's leadership was instrumental in shaping the Somali resistance against colonial rule. His teachings, his ideologies, his charisma, all played a key role in rallying his people and sparking a resistance movement that would forever change the course of Somali history. With his fiery speeches and charismatic leadership, Sayyid Mohamned sparked a resistance that would shape the course of Somali history. In the face of colonial oppression, Sayyid Mohamned launched what would become known as the Dervish movement. This was not just a political maneuver, but a profound cultural revolution, grounded in the deep roots of Somali heritage and Islamic faith. The Dervish movement was a potent force of resistance against the British colonial rule in the Horn of Africa, spanning from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. The primary aim of the Dervish movement was the establishment of an independent Somali state, free from the clutches of colonial powers. This was a bold and ambitious goal, one that required strategic planning, courage, and a unified front. Sayyid Mohamned, with his charismatic leadership and strategic acumen, proved to be the perfect figurehead for such a movement. Sayyid Mohammed's tactics were as diverse as they were effective. He employed a mixture of guerrilla warfare, diplomatic negotiations, and a deep understanding of the land and its people. He knew the terrain of his homeland like the back of his hand, using it to his advantage in battles. He also used the power of poetry and oratory to rally his people, weaving a tapestry of resistance with the threads of Somali culture, traditions, and faith. His leadership of the Dervish movement was marked by a fierce and prolonged resistance against British rule. This was a David versus Goliath struggle, where an under-resourced but determined group of Somali dervishes took on the might of the British Empire. Sayyid Mohammed's resilience in the face of such overwhelming odds was nothing short of inspiring. Despite the eventual defeat of the Dervish state in the early 20th century, the legacy of Sayyid Mohamned and the Dervish movement lived on. The movement became a symbol of Somali nationalism, a beacon of resistance that continues to inspire Somali people to this day. Despite facing formidable enemies, Sayyid Mohammed's Dervish movement left an indelible mark on the history of East Africa. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of a people, a culture, and a leader who refused to bow down to oppression, forever etching their name in the annals of history. In 1920, Sayyid Mohammed's journey came to an end, but his legacy lived on. The last stand of the Dervish movement under the leadership of Sayyid Mohamned was a demonstration of unyielding resilience against colonial forces. Despite their eventual defeat, the spirit of the movement did not dissipate. Instead, it became a beacon, illuminating the path towards Somali nationalism. In those tumultuous times, Sayyid Mohamned passed away, yet his death was not an end. Instead, it marked a new chapter in the ongoing narrative of Somalia's struggle for freedom. Imagine a seed planted in the soil of adversity, watered by the longing for independence and nurtured by the collective will of a nation. That seed was Sayyid Mohammed's legacy. In the aftermath of his struggle, the narrative of Sayyid Mohamned was painted with broad strokes of controversy and reverence. To some, he was a rebel, an agitator who stirred the pot of colonial politics. But to many others, he was a national hero, a visionary who dared to dream of a free and independent Somalia. His enduring influence on Somali nationalism is indisputable. The echoes of his words and deeds can be heard and seen in the ongoing struggle for freedom and dignity. His teachings continue to be a source of inspiration, kindling the flame of resilience in the hearts of many. Yet the debate about Sayyid Mohammed's legacy is far from settled. History is a complex tapestry, interwoven with multiple perspectives and interpretations. The figure of Sayyid Mohamned is no exception. His life and legacy continue to inspire, to provoke thought, and to challenge our understanding of the past. Sayyid Mohamned Abdulle Hassan, a man of faith, a leader of resilience, and a figure whose legacy continues to inspire and provoke debate. His story serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of history and the enduring struggle for freedom and dignity.